should make you stronger. So my problems is like...
Thank you most kindly for that warm and kind introduction. The leader of the opposition, political leader of the United National Congress, the best Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, and the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar. My parliamentary and NATEX colleagues, local government representatives, constituency executives, members of the media, friends and supporters of the UNC, both present here tonight, and those of you who are joining us on all the various social media platforms, activists all, a pleasant good night to you, my brothers and sisters. I begin by asking you the question, do you feel safer today than you were 9 years ago? Has your standard of living improved under this PNM Rowley-led administration? Has your grocery bill been reduced under this PNM government? There is a resounding no, brothers and sisters. Everything in this country is collapsing under this PNM administration. Brothers and sisters, our country is at a tipping point. We must never forget the pain, the suffering that we have experienced under the last 9 years of this Keith Rowley administration, brothers and sisters. We must never forget the lies that you have been told by this wicked PNM government over the past 9 years. We must never forget the loss of tens of thousands of jobs when this wicked, deceitful, Rowley-led PNM government shut down Petrotrin, sending home thousands of persons. When the government said, we are not closing down Petrotrin, and the next day, all were sent home, brothers and sisters. We must never forget the broken sea bridge and the fiasco surrounding the corruption of the Bridgeman Ferry contract scandal of 2017. Brothers and sisters, we must never forget the Auditor General report where over $3 billion unaccounted for by this Rowley administration, my brothers and sisters, and the list goes on and on. But we have hope, my brothers and sisters. We have a solution, and the solution is to fire the PNM government, fire Rowley as Prime Minister, and elect a UNC government under the visionary leadership of the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar. My brothers and sisters, the infrastructure of this country is falling apart. In my constituency of Couva North, the Randy Carter Bridge, which served as a main access road for farmers connecting Felicity to Waterloo, has collapsed for 2 years now, and nothing, absolutely nothing, no solution, no progress from this PNM. The wicked, inept PNM government would make excuse after excuse that they don't have funds to repair the bridge. Do not be fooled, my brothers and sisters. The only thing to blame is the incompetence and the misplaced priority of this PNM government. Brothers and sisters, right here in Chaguanas, everything is at a standstill because of the collapse of that Perseverance Bridge. And the only thing that stood to get things moving was when we came out and we exposed them, myself, the mayor, His Worship, Faik Mohammed, Deputy Mayor, and the representatives from the Chaguanas Borough Corporation. We came out and we exposed them, and we said the PNM is the problem and the PNM was responsible for the collapse of the bridge. Brothers and sisters, it was only then when the Minister of Works and Transport was embarrassed into understanding that it is he and his ministry who is responsible for that bridge. When he was saying there were other persons, it's only when he was embarrassed, then he ran out quickly to try and solve the problem, brothers and sisters. The collapse of this bridge due to the failure to maintain and to provide supervision in the cleaning of that watercourse by the PNM government has not only affected the residents, but also the farming community and the business community in and around Chaguanas. Just like traffic every day, the business in and around Chaguanas have now been at a standstill. Consumers are avoiding to have to come into Chaguanas because of the mismanagement of the traffic situation by this P&M administration. Stores that are normally filled to capacity at this time when persons are going back to school are normally empty at this point in time now because of the failure of this P&M government. And I want us to stand, brothers and sisters, as we welcome the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, our political leader, the Honorable Kamla Prasad Visesa.
Ready to defend in the toughest time, right down till the end, standing by my side. When I need a friend, I depend on you. Nothing could rise above my feelings for you. I give you all my love, and that times two. The strength to go all day, I get it from you. And you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you. You give me a reason to jump for joy. You give me a reason to live. Yeah, you give me the vibe and keep me alive. Make everything right. Yeah, you. It's you got me feeling to jump around. You make me feel to go on and on. Say through every season, you are the reason. Yeah, you. When I'm down, you pick me up like a newborn. You replenish my cup. You make me feel strong. I can never get enough of you. And you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you. You are a diehard. You're down with the crew. You always represent when I call on you. No matter where I go, I'm sure to see you. And you, and you, and you, and you, and hey. You give me a reason to jump for joy. You give me a reason to live. Yeah, you give me the vibe and keep me alive. Make everything right. Yeah, you. You got me feeling to jump around. You make me feel to go on and on. Say through every season, you are the reason. Yeah, you. Breathe, you got to breathe. You, I said to breathe. You got to breathe. Yeah, you, and you. I said to breathe. You got to breathe. You got to breathe. And you got to breathe. You know I love the things you do for me. Every touch I get, I go crazy for you. And I'll do anything you want me to, everything you want I'll do for you and you and you and you and you. You give me a reason to jump around. You give me a reason to live. Yeah, you give me the vibe and keep me alive. Yeah, you. You got me feeling to jump around. You make me feel to go on and on. Say through every season, you are the reason. Yeah, you.
Oh my gosh, my brothers and sisters, it is like the victory of the UNC when the results of the election has been declared upon the arrival here at the UNC headquarters. Let's make some noise to welcome our political leader, the Honorable Kamla Prasad Visesa. This building is filled to capacity with crowd overflowing on the outside, my brothers and sisters. It is amazing what is happening here, the kind of energy that we are experiencing here tonight at our party headquarters. And as I was saying, my brothers and sisters, stores that are normally filled to capacity this time of the year because of back to school, these stores are empty because of the traffic congestion in Chaguanas. And more so because families cannot even afford to purchase basic stationery for their children to go back to school. Imagine what is happening in this country when we have to come to hear that a mother is charged for stealing basic stationery, not because she's inherently criminal, but because families can no longer afford to provide even basic items for their children, brothers and sisters. Only a PNM government could do that, according to Imbert. Only a PNM government could do that. Brothers and sisters, our once first world sports sector has also collapsed under this visionless PNM administration. We are now an international embarrassment under this PNM government. Imagine a stadium that initially was supposed to cost taxpayers $300,000 with cost overrun over $1.3 billion, and plus that $200 million again for the refurbishment and the outfit, $1.5 billion and counting, is being deemed as unsatisfactory by the ICC. The pitch at the Brian Lara Stadium has recently been declared as unsatisfactory after $1.5 billion being spent. More than the Piarco International Airport, which happens to receive the award as the #1 airport, one of the best airports in the hemisphere, built by a UNC government. My brothers and sisters, during our time in office, we didn't just talk about sports, we took action. We built world-class facilities, including the Aquatic Center, the Cycling Village Room, the National Cricket Center, all strategically located here in central Trinidad to create an economic growth pole centered around sports. And I say hats off to former Minister of Sports, Anil Roberts, under the leadership of Mrs. Kamla Prasad-Bisesa. Now we see sportsmen vowing not to return to TNT because of our poor stadiums. Under the government led by the Honorable Kamla Prasad-Bisesa, we didn't just build infrastructure, we invested into programs that supported our athletes from the grassroots level all the way to the international stage. We had a clear strategic plan for the sporting sector in Trinidad and Tobago. Our leader understood the importance of investing into sports to aid in youth development and crime reduction. However, this PNM government lacks vision, lack having a plan. They prefer to spend $3 million in painting rather than investing into our sporting industry. Brothers and sisters, I want to take this opportunity to address the failure that has plagued the agriculture sector, brought about by the Rowley and his bands of misfit. This clueless, visionless PNM government recently held another puppy show disguised as an agro expo. Brothers and sisters, can you imagine that small farmers throughout this country, farmers who have quality breeding stock, were left out of this big people party held at the Savannah, this PNM Puppy Show Expo? And that is what has happened. Over $20 million are spent in the last 2 years to host 2 Agro Expo, brothers and sisters. Yet our food import bill increased from $5 billion to over $7.3 billion and counting. With the agriculture contribution to GDP since this PNM government come into office, fallen from $1.4 billion down to $1.2 billion. That's a decline of $200 million in agriculture contribution to GDP by this PNM wicked, incompetent administration. This is the level of disrespect the PNM has shown to our small farmers and the agriculture sector. Brothers and sisters, this type of disrespect must never be forgiven, and it will be met by the ultimate punishment when you take out your voting finger on election day and give the PNM the punishment that they deserve, my brothers and sisters. Imagine spending over $20 million and yet farmers who are flooded out cannot receive compensation. Farmers who have spent their monies and applied for subsidies are waiting years to receive their subsidies. For folks who are in the fishing industry, we have been speaking on their behalf. This wicked government has increased the cost of fuel on multiple occasions, brothers and sisters, crippling the fisher folk, and yet they will not revise the fuel rebate for the fishing community, my brothers and sisters. They're wicked, brothers and sisters, and that is why as soon as that election bell is called, we must use our voting finger and give them the punishment they deserve. I want to acknowledge a good friend, former minister in the People's Partnership Administration, the Honorable Jairam Simongal, who has joined us here tonight, brothers and sisters. And former minister spoke at our pre-budget consultation. He made the statement on bird flu. There's a saying, brothers and sisters, when your neighbor house on fire, wet yours. Minister Simongal spoke about the bird flu, which have been ravishing the global community. But this clueless, visionless government is pretending that it doesn't exist. There has been absolutely no protocols, no plans in place in the event that the virus reaches our shores, just like they did for COVID. When that motion was moved into the parliament, they refused to allow it being treated and debated in the parliament, the COVID matter. And now, brothers and sisters, the dengue. There has been absolutely no guidelines, no systems, no mechanism to prevent this bird flu from entering Trinidad and Tobago, my brothers and sisters. They waited with respect to that COVID for it to spread across the country. And we must never forget, my brothers and sisters, it is because of their mismanagement of the COVID pandemic that over 4,000 citizens of our country died as a result of their incompetence, brothers and sisters. And we are seeing the same thing happening with their mismanagement of the dengue situation. Persons are dying because the lack of testing and proper treatment. Imagine innocent 8-year-old Nilisha Narain died after she was taken to the Indian Walk Health Center and was sent home with high fever and no medication. Tonight I say the death of these citizens must be bolted to the chest of Rowley and Dial Singh due to their mismanagement of the health sector. When we look back at that pandemic, the only good thing that came out of it was the utilization of the Couva Children Hospital built by our visionary leader, the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa. My brothers and sisters, the PNM has failed our farmers. They have failed our young people. They have failed our sporting sector. They have failed our business community. The PNM has failed our babies, as in the case of that 5-year-old Anika from Maruga, which you will hear more from Sister Michelle Benjamin. The PNM continue to fail the citizens of our country, brothers and sisters. Children are dying. They are not safe under the PNM. We must never forget our sister Andrea Barrett and all those innocent women who lost their lives because the PNM does not care. However, my brothers and sisters, there is hope. And that hope lies with the government in waiting, the United National Congress, under the leadership of the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Today, the UNC stands stronger than ever. In 2010, we needed a partnership to come together to form the government. But as the stakeholders of that partnership would have gone in different directions and the partnership collapsed, it cost us the government. But we did not sit back. Under the guidance and the leadership of the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa, all of you continue to work, continue to grow our party, where now the UNC is the most popular political party in the hemisphere. And more so, you have done the work with all the coordinators in the marginal constituencies to move the marginal from marginal to ensure that as soon as that election bell is rung, we are also going to declare a victory in those marginal. So I say to you, brothers and sisters, stay strong. There is hope under the leadership of Kamala Prasad-Bisesa, who is going to be our next Prime Minister. I thank you, thank you, thank you.